Wow. How about this, huh? Victory Monday. I'm here live on the evolution of sports talk television. How about that? It's been a long time, guys. It's good to be back here. I'm your host, Peter Blake. It's the evolution of sports talk television on a what is it? What is it? Is it a Victory Monday? Victory! Yes, as your Tampa Bay Buccaneers take care of business. Once again, this is the evolution. This is the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. How do we start off this show in the new studio with the door closed so we don't interrupt the roommates out there? They don't yell. So let's christen it like we always do. You know it, you love it, you got to have it. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. So Bucs fans, how you feeling at 7-6? In first place all along in the NFC South? How does it feel, Bucs fans? How does it feel? Does it feel good? I know that some of you lost hope in this Bucs team. You wanted to fire Todd Bowles. You wanted to give up on the season. You wanted to start talking draft. You wanted to start talking about new general manager, new coach, new quarterback. But once again, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers prove what? That they are still the kings of the South. So far, I get it. The Atlanta Falcons have the 2-game lead. Oh, by the way, Kirk Cousins, everybody's talking to me about joining the dark side, but I told you specifically what he was. I feel like it's Dennis Green all over again. He is what he is. He is what we thought he was, a mediocre quarterback. Check this out, because I know you love stats, right? Stats are for losers, and consequently, Cousins is a loser right now. The last 4 games, 0 touchdowns, 0 touchdowns, 0 right there, 0 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. And that's why the Bucs are 7-6 and the Falcons are looking up. Now, can this change? Of course it can. You beat the Raiders 28-13. I get it. They're not the overwhelming great team, the greatest team in the National Football League. But what do we always say here on this show? A win is a win is a win. It's no friggin' logic on most weeks. I know there would be a lot of Bucs fans out there that would say, well, you didn't beat the Raiders, so Todd Bowles should be fired. You didn't beat the Carolina Panthers, so Todd Bowles should be fired. You didn't beat the Giants, so Todd Bowles should be fired. And yet here we sit. I said we, because we are Bucs Nation. Thanks a lot for the support of the evolution of sports talk television, the sportsweb.live. Check all that out. All the podcasts, Spotify, riding in the new Tesla, the Go Bucs Tesla this weekend. 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. You forget about a lot of things. I didn't forget about you. And you're listening to the podcast, and you're feeling good, and you're on your way to the stadium because you moved to Tampa, and it's in the air. You feel like they can come on and get on a win streak, and that's exactly what this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team is. By the way, that's why I've been missing Mondays and some shows to pay the bills, to move to Tampa, to get a new car. So now I'm settled in. And I know you missed me last night at the stadium in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. We didn't have phone calls. Guess what? We got phone calls tonight. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. In the new digs, in the new studio. How do you guys like it? You like it? You like a Victory Monday? Victory! I love that. Can't get enough of that. I know that Todd Bowles is excited.
It's exciting!
It is. Right, exactly. The roommate loves it. He loves it out there. He loves it. He's a big-time Bucs fan. Let's go. Exactly. Love it. All right. Let's go out to the comments here. Let's go out to the Green Queen herself. She's celebrating Victory Monday. Mondays are so much sweeter when you're celebrating a victory. Absolutely. Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
As her Eagles survived the Carolina Panthers, who are playing some good football, by the way. So once again, going back to it, because the emphasis was, fire Todd Bowles, this Bucs team is a joke, all this other stuff. That Panther team took the Eagles down to the wire. Again, no friggin' logic, not for long. That's how it goes. All right, let's go on to Mike. Chargers are definitely going to be a tough out. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And I believe we got you covered on the away games there live at Ferg Sports Bar and Grill for your pre, half, and post-game edition. Oh, looky there. Ask for phone calls. Get phone calls. Let's go out to the phone lines here. Let's start it off. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Hey, Peter, how you doing, man? This is Corey from Dinwiddie, Virginia, man. How you doing tonight?
Corey from, what is it, Dunwoody, Virginia? Where the heck is Dunwoody, Virginia, by the way?
No. Dinwiddie, Virginia.
Dinwiddie, Virginia. Dinwiddie. You say tomato, I say tomato. Whereabouts is that at? Is that in Ravens fan base there, or is that in Washington Commanders territory? Where is that at?
Oh, no, sir. That's like 30 minutes south of Richmond, Virginia.
Okay.
Yes,
so no NFL teams there. So you're a Bucs fan. Okay, cool. Well, that's cool. All right. So what are your thoughts? Man. All right, good. How long you been a Bucs fan for, by the way?
Since as long as I can remember, man. Probably about 30 years.
30 years.
I'm 34, so about 30 years left.
30-year Buck fan in Dinwiddie, Virginia, calling the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. So go ahead, share what's on your mind tonight after it's a Victory Monday, my friend, and we'll play it again.
Victory!
There you go. How do you feel about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers on this 3-game win streak?
I like it, man. I like it. It's going pretty well. Like you said just a few minutes ago, it wasn't the prettiest game. We had some turnovers, but, hey, we pulled out the win, and now we move on to the Chargers this Sunday, and hopefully we can get another win.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you right now, I got to go out to my co-host here. We'll get him on. He'll talk with us also. Here we go. Professional handicapper extraordinaire, Mr. Harry the Greek. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend. How you doing?
Pretty good, Peter. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing good, buddy. Doing real good here as we, as the Bucs take care of business as always. When it comes to the Raiders, that's a good deal. They take care of the Carolina Panthers, and of course, they take care of the New York Football Giants. And we got Corey on the line here. So, Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in. I haven't called in a couple weeks. I'm curious to see how the rest of the season is going to play out. I hope we can win in the division. I just think it's going to be a little tough going into the playoffs because we'll probably one of the lowest seeds. But
actually, you'll be a 4th seed if you win the NFC South. So you take care of business, and Atlanta loses a couple games there. And again, the Bucs control their own destiny, but they do need some help from the Atlanta Falcons. But if the Falcons continue to lose, and we know this all too well, Greek, as it snowballs, things can happen. And right now, Kirk Cousins and his play as quarterback has been absolutely god-awful. The last 4 games, 0 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That is absolutely awful.
That's good enough to suck right there.
That's right, Tom Brady. It is good.
I told you that was going to happen. Ooh, Lord. Everybody wanted to jump off a bridge. Atlanta's for real. And I was like, boy, you just really don't have a clue.
Yeah, well, again, it remains to be seen at this point, but the way they're playing right now, it's not good news for Atlanta Falcons fans, and it's great news for Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans. So what's your biggest concern at this point for this team going into the playoffs? Because they will be a 4th seed, and right now, if the playoffs ended right now, you would play the 11-win Minnesota Vikings and Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson. Jeez. So that would be a tough matchup in your first round, but at least you would get that first-round playoffs. I said playoffs, first-round game at home.
Yeah, it would be tough.
Yep.
But then I just don't see anybody getting past Detroit in the NFC. As much as I love Tampa Bay, I don't think anybody. Obviously, Tampa Bay is the only team we are the only team to beat them this year. But Detroit is just playing. Then they won some close games.
Mm-hmm.
But man, Detroit's gonna be tough going because they'll have the first round bye, home field advantage through the whole playoffs.
I'm just curious, who beat Detroit this year?
That's what I'm saying, man.
The guy that predicted the upset.
Well, there you go, right there, Mr. Harry.
Let me interject here real quick.
Yes.
Detroit's the best team in the National Football League right now, and it's not even close. As injured as they are right now, especially on defense, if they continue to play the way they have, especially on defense. And I said, Peter, the reason why I said the Bucs were going to win that game against the Detroit Lions was because the secondary was so suspect. And when you start compiling all the injuries that they've had on the defensive line, the lack of pressure that they've been able to accumulate, that becomes even more of a shootout. And listen, man, Jared Goff is going to give it to the opposing defenses at least twice a game, whether it's a fumble or it's going to be via the interception. It's exactly how the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had beaten this team. Look, there is no clear front runner on who's going to win the NFC this year. There just isn't. It could be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I'm going to tell you right now, Tampa fans, you better start playing a little bit better. You better start playing a little bit better because I'll tell you what, these teams are going to sneak up on you. And enough of the bullshit about the way the offensive line has been playing. Baker Mayfield had more time to throw the football than any game this season. Just to let you know, when I got done watching the tape on this game, his average throw sitting in the pocket was 3 seconds. Just let that digest for a second.
All right. Good stuff, my friend. Go ahead and finish up here, Corey. Thanks a lot for the call. Use that second one. What else is on your mind?
That's about all I got, man. I'm just like you said, just curious to see what happens in the 4 more games, 5 games left?
Yeah, 4 more games. You've got the Chargers this Sunday. You've got the Dallas Cowboys there on the road, so 2 road games, and of course the Bucs have played better on the road with their record 4-2. Now winning at home yesterday 3-4, so they're a better road team, and then you finish up
Carolina and New Orleans.
Carolina and New Orleans. So you got the Chargers, the Cowboys, Carolina, and New Orleans. Oh my, that's what you got.
Oh boy.
Peter, didn't I talk about this? Let's finish up with the call, and then I can go into it.
All right. I appreciate you, man. As always, use that second call if you want to. Okay, Corey?
All right, buddy. Yes, sir.
All right, good stuff there. So open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So go ahead and finish up.
You know what? Here. And I also want to follow it up. If you want to make a phone call and you want to call into the show, you don't have to just talk Tampa Bay Buccaneers football. If you feel like you want to jump off a bridge because your football team is like playing like crap, feel free to give us a call. We'll be more than happy to go ahead and do it. Just make that donation. That's not even funny.
All right.
That's not even funny. Who's that calling in?
Let's go out to Eric here. Eric, what's going on, buddy? Long time no hear. Yes, sir. What's up? Okay, what's going on, buddy? What's on your mind?
Man, well. How do you feel about the Bucs now? And do you like the Bucs' chances versus LA Chargers?
Hold on, isn't this the same Eric that called me 4 weeks ago talking about this team should sell everybody?
Yes.
The Tampa Bay Rays suck. You're ready to go ahead and fire Bulls and everything else.
Yes.
Eric, I'm going to give you one chance to apologize to us and everybody that sits here and listens to this to say you were wrong.
Go ahead, say it.
Yeah, I was wrong.
You go. It's therapeutic, isn't it?
It is right there. You gotta love that.
A lot of people wrong because we learned from the Bucs media.
You know who wasn't wrong, Eric? You want to know who wasn't wrong? The 2 people that are hosting the show right now. When we said they had the easiest schedule, and they were a game and a half back of the Atlanta Falcons, the Rolex reporter and the Greek. That's who wasn't wrong, Eric. You were wrong, and so were the people calling up going, oh, they were just the Giants they were playing. They can't control who the hell they're playing. They just have to win the rest of their games.
What's the Broncos of all teams?
They lost to the Broncos. Broncos are a good team this year. I mean,
hold on, timeout. They were supposed to beat the brakes off the Broncos because the Broncos were not playing good football. It was after that game the Broncos started playing good football. Let's get that really correct quickly.
Thank you.
But listen, though, it's not going to always happen that way, Eric.
I get it.
And every fan thinking that it's going to be like that all the time where you're just going to dominate teams. It's not going to happen that way. It would be nice for the Bucs to play like they did against the New York Giants, but Carolina's playing good football right now.
How do you feel with no Winfield now? How do you feel about it? No more Winfield?
I mean, that's the big story of the day. Winfield Jr., according to Todd Bowles, is going to miss a couple weeks. I mean, Harry, I'll go to you because it's been a disastrous year. I mean, Winfield Jr., clearly the best safety last year, gets hurt early, has tried.
Peter, I can't make any more excuses for what Tampa Bay's doing on defense. It's the next man up type of mentality. I keep telling you from before, that's just not the case right now. It is what it is. This defense is not going to get any better from here to the end of the year. It's just not. Okay. They're going to have to play offense. They're going to have to win shootouts, or they're going to have to play a lot of bend, but don't break type of defense. But that just isn't a Todd Bowles style and mentality. Hold on, Eric.
Eric, hold on, man.
Hold on. I'm trying to drive a point here. This offense is still designed to run the football. They have the capabilities of rushing for 130 to 200 yards a game. And anytime you're able to do that, your defense doesn't have to be a superstar. How the hell do you think Detroit is winning all these close ball games? Or they're winning these blowouts? Because they're not playing defense. They're in the same exact position that the Buccaneers are in right now, with the exception that they actually have more wins that they've lucked out of. I can count 4 wins that the Detroit Lions should not have won this year, and one of them being to the lowly Chicago Bears. I'm not saying they're not any good, but there is no clear front runner right now. If you can run the football with the two-headed monster that you have here in Tampa, and like they have in Detroit, and just play mediocre defense, you can win playoff games. And who knows, it may get you to another Super Bowl.
And I'll tell you, Eric. The one thing you can do, and the one thing that's great about this Bucs team right now is you can actually run the ball if that defense could get better. And I don't know if it's going to get better. I agree with Harry, but Tyke Smith being a part of that secondary stepping up. You had Kayvon Merriweather yesterday step up, Christian Itzian step up. I mean, you're exactly right. It's next man up mentality. I love Tyke Smith in that back end because I definitely think he was a big part of shutting down Brock Bowers.
Yeah.
You got a real good comment in there, Pete. I want to go ahead and bring in because I want to answer this question because it's all pertinent to it because of what we were talking about. David Mosier says, how can Detroit and other teams pick up good players to fill in for their injured players, but all the players that Tampa picks up are crap? Or who can we blame for all the backups being shit? Well, almost all the backups. I got a good answer for you. That's not true. No, it's just not true. No. Some of these players that are playing in the secondary and the linebacking core right now for the injured Detroit Lions, they're doing this with smoke and mirrors. Teams that blitz a lot get burned a lot, and that can't come to relevance really quick come playoff time. And I really appreciate the comment, David, and the question. But Tampa's going to kind of be in the same boat. The difference is that Tampa doesn't have to rely on Baker Mayfield's arm. This can be done with running the football with White and Bucky. And by the way, who did they feature in this past game? Everybody's so high on Bucky. I told you 2 weeks ago that Bucky Irvin needs to get he needs to take it back a little bit because come playoff time, if they make the playoffs, you're going to need a fresh set of legs. That's all I'm saying.
No, absolutely. And, with the Bucky situation, Todd Bowles commented on that today, saying in so many words, his back tightened up. It tightened up. We got to see how it feels. If we can get it loosened up, he should be okay. If not, we'll see how the week goes. And that was the other story and has been the story of this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team.
What a great story.
Yes, the improved running attack because, from 2020.
And I was the one that was making fun of him. Please
stop.
I don't want to hear about another Warwick Dunn. Please stop. Let him put a jersey on. This guy's just as good, if not just better, than Warwick Dunn was. And that's a hell of a compliment.
Absolutely it is. And Rashad White, 17 carries for 90 yards, 1 touchdown. Sean Tucker, 3 carries for 47 yards. including the massive run there,
They're
34
balling,
yards in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's a good problem to have, and I understand people have their favorites with White. White is better with pass protection. White is also better with catching the ball out of the backfield, but he's
White's
running.
also a bigger back, man. Let's just be fair.
Sure.
Bucky will still stick his nose into a linebacker trying to come in, but that's not the matchup you want, hence the reason why his back is hurting. I'm just saying that I thought they should have given the guy not a couple of games, but kind of limit his carries, and still continue to run the football. You have a stable of running backs. The Buccaneers are, man, let me tell you something. Liam Cohen is really doing a good job with featuring this backfield.
I agree with you, but second quarter, third quarter, they were sleepwalking. That has been a problem for this team the last couple of weeks. It can't happen versus the Chargers. Tell you what, let's go back out to the comments here. Team says good evening, because if you get down to a good team like that, you start off like that to a really good team like the Chargers, and I think they're an improved team. You're just asking for it.
I'm going to tell you right now, because when you and I were talking 2 weeks ago, this was the game that I really wasn't too concerned about, Peter.
Okay, tell me why.
It's going to be why, because first off, the Chargers are not an offensive explosive team, where Tampa is. They have a much better offense than the Chargers do. The difference is the Chargers can play defense. Khalil Mack leads it still. Okay, they can still get pressure with their front four without having the blitz.
Joey Bosa.
Well, Khalil Mack is probably the man sitting over there. Matter of fact, he had the first sack in yesterday's game. Let me be really clear when I say this. If Tampa Bay can run the football and not get frustrated, Tampa should win this game without any issues. But if they have to put this game on Baker's shoulders and they're sitting in zone and able to get pressure with a four-man front, he's going to give the opposing team at least 2 or 3 picks in this game. That's the reality. But the real reality is Tampa's going to be able to run because they're going to run with determination. And that will set up the play action because the safeties are going to get up a little closer to the box. We're bringing it here tonight on the Evolution, folks.
We are bringing it on the Evolution. I want to read these comments and then get back to Baker Mayfield, because that has been also a point of contention for this Bucs fan base and for this Bucs team. Victory Monday. Absolutely. Victory Monday.
Yeah.
Victory Monday.
Victory!
There you go. Ben says, good evening, Peter. Good evening to you from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Let's go out to Trevor. It feels good. Victory Monday.
Victory!
All right, let's go out to Ben there. Just got to hope now the Bucs don't have any more injuries going forward. I mean, what do you make of this? I get it. It's easy to say it's the National Football League. It's not for long. But hamstring after bad luck, it just seems like, this Bucs team is snake bitten. What do you make of all the injuries for this team?
You know what? You're still in first place.
Right.
What am I going to tell you, man? Injuries are going to be part of this game. There's no team that's not banged up, okay? Tampa has been banged up. Remember all the injuries that they sustained, not only on the defense, but it was on the offensive line in the early part of the year, Peter. Okay. And then all of a sudden now you're starting to get a little bit better. Hence the reason he had 3 seconds to throw a ball. Okay. That's arguably true. Against one of the best defensive ends in football. Okay. What I make of all the injuries? Shit happens, man. Next man up mentality. I'm going to have to keep saying it. It's just going to have to continue to keep saying it.
All right. I get it. Let's see here. Carl says, what's the word on Winfield? According to Todd Bowles, will miss a couple weeks. A lot of people reporting he's going to miss the rest of the year. That has not been reported. You guys.
That has not been reported.
Yeah, throw that
not accurate.
That's not accurate at all. Christopher Cole says, evening, peeps. Happy Victory Monday.
Victory!
Mike says, what area of Tampa did you settle in? By Anderson and Waters, Mike. Appreciate it. Hi, Peter Blake there. Eric, thank you very much for tuning in. Say first place NFC South, who we are. Absolutely no Winfield right now. Jim says we beat Detroit, and that's what I continue to put out there. And I get it. Everybody has a love affair with the Lions. They're playing tremendous football.
But they got holes, Peter.
They got holes. They definitely got holes, and it starts for me with the pass rush. I don't think right now you can get away with it. But when you get to that postseason, I'm not sure if you can get away with that. And then furthermore,
they generate that pass rush by blitzing the same way Minnesota does. And trust me, Minnesota's not that good either. Okay. Look, I think Flores has done an incredible job with the Minnesota Vikings, but that defense is not as good as what people think. You can take subpar players, okay, and blitz 55% of the time in the game, you're going to get pressure because you can't block everyone. But if you blitz a lot, you get burned a lot. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's true, and we've seen it with the Bucs. You know, when they've had to generate the blitz, sometimes they get burnt on those big time plays. So it's nice to have that 4-man front where you don't have to bring that extra pressure, because when you do, then it leaves guys on the island, and that's where I think the Lions can be exposed, because I don't think that secondary, especially with Carlton Davis, is that good. Harry should be drinking bourbon after the last Bears performance, says Nick. What do you think about that?
Well, first off, I want to say hello to Nick. You know what? For all your gambling needs, and I mean every one of them, make sure you throw a DM in me, and I will hook you up with Nick, because I'll tell you what, FanDuel is the way to go.
FanDuel is, and what is it? FanDuel Network now.
It's all FanDuel. It used to be TVG, especially with the horses and everything. All my parimutuel wagers, they go right through FanDuel.
They're evolving here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. KC, Harry, let's go out to Christopher Cole watching The Simpsons Monday Night Football. What is that all about? I haven't watched that. I get it to be the slime.
I don't want to watch the slime and the cartoons. I want to see the
Simpsons. I mean, do you have to be high in order to watch Monday Night Football? So that's why they play The Simpsons and all this.
Did you just say hi?
I did say hi. Yes, hi.
Well, what's his name in Tampa hasn't called back? Harry.
Mr. Williams, he's calling, man. You have to definitely meet him up at Ferg's. Are you coming out to Ferg's? I'm putting you on the spot right now, because I believe we have a deal with Ferg's.
We do have a deal with Ferg's. I am going to come out, but I ain't coming out for a cheeseburger. Let's just make that very clear. Hey, I don't come out for cheeseburgers. To get me off the couch, are you kidding me, Pete? You know the scratch that I make by handicapping the games. What am I supposed to do? Handicap them there when there's 5,000 people listening? I'm only kidding you, man. Yes, I will be out at Ferg's.
All right, so there you go. Yours truly, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, Mr. Harry the Greek. And who knows, maybe we'll get Leo Haggerty out there, the legend himself, coming out there. Maybe Andrew Davis again. We'll see. We'll see what happens. You know I'm right. We have the 7th layer of hell, satanic hex on this team when it comes to injuries, because they won't stop. You know I'm right again.
That's a good one. That's funny.
And Greek. I guess it's Giselle leaving the team with Tom Brady. There's no more curses and all the other stuff. Yes, I put that out there.
You know, I'm the one that actually broke that live on the sports web. People are like, no way, he didn't do that. I'm telling you, she had, you remember me telling you how we played football?
Yes.
Right. She's a white witch. There's such a thing, buddy.
Well, I think Tom Brady would think she's something else, and it rhymes with the W. We won't go into that, but you all know what I mean. You're all adults here. With the B.
Oh yeah, I just got it.
All right, there you go. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution as I get in trouble here.
Hey guys, it's Trevor. How you guys doing?
What's going on, Trevor, on a Victory Monday?
What's up, Trevor?
Yes, sir. Hey, what's up?
Happy, man. Getting this win streak going. I know a lot of people want us to beat everybody like 50-0, but it's the NFL, so it don't quite work that way every week.
Right. Correct.
But all in all, I'm feeling pretty good. I'll say this about our team.
Yes.
Given the injuries that we have, I've come to the conclusion after watching us play all season, the strength of our team is through our running backs. Run the damn ball.
Well, and I think there's times where Cohen, and I think Liam Cohen does a great job when it comes to calling plays, but sometimes he also gets a little bit too pass happy. Harry, you want to comment on this because you watched the game yesterday. Do you feel like Cohen does get a little bit too pass happy with Baker Mayfield? It would be nice to have Godwin in there. You don't. You have Sterling Shepard. You have Jalen McMillan, who was productive. But would you like to see even more running plays called? Do you think Cohen gets a little bit too cute when calling these passing plays?
Yes and no, Peter. Honestly, I don't really have any faults to what Liam Cohen calls in a game. I think I may have been critical on 2 of the games this year, but you know what? Anybody can be an armchair quarterback. There were definitely some opportunities that Baker missed yesterday, and he could have had a stellar game. It also could have went the other way because there was a couple of passes that should have been picked off, but I think we say that almost every week when Baker does that.
Yeah.
I mean, he still thinks he's 7 foot tall and 250 pounds, and he's the baddest MFer in the league. But that's just not the case. The guy's got a good arm. He's a gamer. And let's just put it this way. if Tampa didn't have this running game, Baker wouldn't be as good as he is.
That's a fair point, but I
agree
also think Baker has played well at times. He is a little bit inconsistent. He tries to do too much instead of living to fight another day. We saw that yesterday. I know he's trying to make plays. I get that, but at crucial times, you can't turn the ball over in that red zone.
Do you know who he reminds me of if he was a defensive player? And you're going to say, you know what, Greek, this is a really weird analogy.
Go for it.
A former Tampa Bay Buccaneer by the name of Sean Murphy Bunting. I'll tell you why he reminds me of him.
Okay.
Everybody was riding Sean Murphy Bunting's ass because he would get toasted. And all of a sudden in one game, he got 2 picks, or he'd get a hand up or stop something. You know what? If you ain't trying, you ain't going to win. And that is exactly what Baker Mayfield reminds me of. He thinks he could fit that ball 40 yards downfield between 3 defenders and a guy in the middle in a spot this big.
Yeah, and I would hate to say this also, but he has a little bit of Jameis Winston in him, right? I mean, because he's trying to force that ball in those little windows, and Baker's gotten a lot better when it comes to decision making compared to Winston, but it's kind of the same, Brett Favre kind of deal. We've talked about this on the show. Trevor, you have confidence in Baker Mayfield. Any concern with the turnover situation there the last couple of weeks? The offensive line, Harry's saying giving him time. I don't think Tristan Wirfs is 100%.
He's not, but he had the most time to throw the football this week, Pete. Let me tell you something. That offensive line for Tampa is playing lights out, man. They are blind. Anytime your running game averages over 100 yards a game, your offensive line is fine. And then you're giving your quarterback over 3 seconds to throw the football. There's not a team in the National Football League right now that's doing that. And they're not the healthiest of offensive lines. I implore you to go ahead and check it out. And by the way, I love some of the hate comments that I'm getting in here. It's absolutely hilarious. God forbid I say anything negative about the Buccaneers. I think it's hilarious. Keep it coming, man. I don't care.
We will definitely read some of these comments, Trevor, but go ahead. Give me your thoughts.
Okay. As far as me being concerned about Baker, I'll admit I do have some small concerns that I think that he's smart enough to realize that he has to stop doing. Meaning he
hasn't stopped it yet. That's what makes him so good.
Well, I'll say this. There's sometimes he has to. I think he should take what the defense gives him versus trying to be too greedy. Like, for example, that end zone interception that he threw right before halftime.
Agree.
I think it's important.
That's the play that he had the tight end underneath, wide open, crossing in the middle. I get it.
Well, he even said
he was wide open,
right? And he even said a running back out of the backfield. He said this in his press conference that the check down may have been open. So he knows.
It was open. Pete.
It was open. I mean, you got.
It was open.
Got to take what the defense gives you. I understand you're trying to make a play at that point, and you think you have Cade Otton on the seam route, but you don't have that. And on top of it, you've got pressure coming into your face. We all know when you put pressure on the quarterback and you force him to do things he doesn't want to do, he does those things and the other team takes advantage of it.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's just about understanding complementary football. In that situation, it's like, okay, if we take care of the football, we can at least get 3 out of this drive. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's okay to walk away with a field goal, given that, what was it, a little over a minute left on the clock before halftime in that situation?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, take what the defense gives you. We might be able to score a touchdown, but if not, hey, we can kick a field goal and add on to our lead. You know what I mean?
Makes lots of sense, Trevor. It really does.
Just live to fight another down.
Thank
and just
you.
Add to,
live to fight another down, to fight another day. And that is what's going to make Baker a better quarterback. And we've seen Baker be a better quarterback. We've seen this offense be a better offense than turning over the ball, because I don't care who you play. You may be able to get away with it with the Giants because they're not a good team. The Panthers are improving, but they're not a good team. The Raiders are not a good team. But against good quality playoff teams during the postseason, I think the Chargers are one of those tests next Sunday. You can't get away with that turnover situation, because if you
they'll make you pay.
They will make you pay. You're absolutely right, Trevor. Yes.
But they're definitely not a team that is going to scare you offensively. I'm sorry. They just don't have that kind of talent around.
But what they can do is they can run the ball. They got a pretty good quarterback in Justin Herbert, although he is banged up. So we'll see if he plays or not. Because
I'll compare running games between Tampa and the Chargers.
Okay.
Any day you want to compare them, I'll take Tampa's running game versus the Chargers, and it's not even close.
I think the Chargers have a good running game. It's not as good as the Bucs. We'll put that out there. All right.
That's why the Buccaneers have an edge in this game.
Okay.
I'll say I'll give a shout out to Tyke Smith.
Yes.
I think like he's one of our most underrated players on the team, and I think it showed yesterday with the interception that he got. And then also, I'm gonna need Jamel Dean to make that tackle on that fourth down.
Thank you.
I'm glad that Mike Evans kind of you can see Mike Evans on the sideline like fuming because he gave up that play. I'm glad he's calling out the defense. So Jamel Dean needs to step up and shout out to Tyke Smith for that interception yesterday.
Yeah, Tyke Smith, absolutely. Trevor, as always, anything else here on the evolution, my friend?
No, man, y'all have fun. Continue to make fun of these trolls. This is my team.
Man, I swear, man, it don't make a difference what I say. I could say the Bucs are going to the Super Bowl and they're the best team since sliced bread. God bless America, man. If I say anything, just remotely anything, other than the Bucs are like the best team since the beginning of time.
I think the Bucs are great. That's what you got to say. It's an old Chris Thomas sound effect that we probably should.
Just stop.
I think the Bucs are great. Yeah, I mean, listen.
You know what? If you want a fanboy and you want someone to jump up and down here without giving you straight up facts, get someone else to sit in this seat because I am not that guy.
Yeah, and even I got my fan hat on sometimes, but again, I'll tell it like it is on this show. Trevor, appreciate the call all the way from North Carolina. Good.
Thanks, Trevor, man. Really good call.
The Ric Flair right there.
Y'all take it easy.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. What the heck happened there? I don't know what that was. Okay, let's go back out to these comments. As always, reading that. Let's go out to Dave. Atlanta isn't playing good, but the Bucs D secondary and linebacking core are a mess, and with no edge rush, it's going to be hard to win. Biggest concern right now, is it the linebacking situation? You had Vi Jones. KJ Britt has been awful. JJ Russell is not the answer at this point. I think JJ Walker is actually more the answer. Dynamite than he is. So Vi Jones, Tyke Smith coming back, is that your biggest concern? Or is the concern edge rusher with, Yaya Diaby? Can he step up? JTS is out. Anthony Nelson, Elijah Cansey. Is that your concern with this team with edge rush, consistent pass rush from this Bucs defense?
Peter, I got to say, man, you asked like 100 questions there and who I think it is. It's not as look at the bottom line is they're just not really good on defense. Okay. And that's not a knock to the team, but they can still be very formidable and they can still keep you in games. At times they do get a good rush up the middle. And you know what? Hey man, when you got Vita Vea that's healthy and he's able to move the center, no quarterback likes to have pressure directly in his face. No quarterback really wants to step left or right. The ideal quarterback wants to be able to sit in the pocket, never move left or right, plant his back foot and throw the football. So to answer your question, I think it's a combination of all of it, but it's not as bad as what people think. The secondary is banged up a little bit. I think Todd Bowles, God willing, he's been around for a very long time, is going to have to make some adjustments and realize that he cannot sit there and blitz. They're going to have to play a little bit more zone than what they're accustomed to playing. And if he can't, then the defense is going to give up a ton of yards and a ton of points. I don't care about yards. You do. I don't. You can give up 500 yards in the game. If you're only giving up 14 points, that's all I care about. As long as you're keeping them out of the end zone. And that's what this team needs to do.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines here. Dave from Tampa. Dave, great job. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television with yours truly, along with Harry the Greek on here on a victory Monday night. Go ahead, my friend. Yes.
You guys, that's amazing. Hey, thanks for letting me be on the show. Happy Monday. I'm watching the atrocious Monday Night Football game. Well, not atrocious, but
is it atrocious? I mean, what's worse? Is it the football play itself, or is it the fact?
No, the game's actually pretty good.
Or are they doing the Simpsons there?
It's brutal, but it's just scary stuff. I'm glad Bucks victory, amazing, big win, first place Bucks.
Yes, first place Bucks in the NFC South. You got to like that, right?
With Baker, Curtis, Superfly Mayfield.
Oh, listen to you with some so Superfly Mayfield. Is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Okay.
You mean Baker let it fly Mayfield?
Well, he said Superfly.
I know, but I like to let it fly.
Okay. All right. Let it fly. That's good.
We need to talk business. Chargers, Bucks, Saturday afternoon, right?
Sunday afternoon, yes. Not Saturday. If it's Saturday, we won't be here.
Right. Chargers, Bucks. I'm a little bit nervous about this Charger defense.
Okay.
David, tell us why you're nervous about this game.
I'm nervous about Khalil Mack and Bosa. Are these guys going to be healthy and ready?
Yeah, no, that's the biggest concern. I mean, is Bosa going to be healthy? Bosa's been off and on. I mean, has he played? Khalil Mack right now is your concern. Khalil Mack has been always the concern when he plays the Bucs, and he's had great games versus this Tampa Bay offensive line. So that'll definitely be a concern.
I have a question for you, Dave. And I can if anybody can appreciate your concern, it's me. What's really worrying you about that defense? Or actually, you said Khalil Mack and possibly Bosa, just the defense in general. How do you nullify a pass rush?
Okay, I'm just concerned. I just saw how Crosby was running all over the place, and he's a load. So I'm just saying, you think Mack is better than Crosby?
Well, Mack, I know at this point in their careers, I think Max Crosby is a little bit better than a Khalil Mack. Now, if you would ask me this 2-3 years ago, it's Khalil Mack hands down. But my question is this. If you're the Buccaneers offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, how do you slow down a pass rush?
Well, you need to have, it depends on who's getting double teamed. And as far as.
Can I answer this question? You chip a tight end or you chip a running back? Or you help out that side, whether it's Luke Gedeke, who's done a pretty good job, or Tristan Wirfs, and I would say more.
You know what? It's called run the football.
True.
That's exactly how you nullify a really good pass rush.
Yeah.
They're going to get tired of making tackles.
Well, and then again, when it comes to the passing situation, which I'm concerned about with pass protection, you would chip a running back, probably a White. More so a White, because Tucker is not a pass pro guy. Most likely you go with the Bucky Irving if he's healthy, or you chip a tight end. You help out one of the sides that you feel like where Bosa or Khalil Mack is, and whomever you double on that side, somebody's going to have to be. And Tristan Wirfs right now is banged up. So if I'm going to look at it, as crazy as this sounds, I'm going to help out Tristan Wirfs on that side, because I feel like either Khalil Mack or Bosa.
Khalil Mack doesn't line up, but he's not going to line up over Tristan Wirfs. Once in a blue moon, you see Khalil Mack line up at the top. He's always on the weak side. He's never on the strong side.
Well, then
very.
And Luke Gedeke will have to, and he's done a good job with being on an island to block, edge rushers.
I just honestly don't believe it's going to be as much of an issue. I am so confident in this game. Listen, guys, there's 2 games I wanted to give out right now. If you continue to wait, the line is only -3 for the Chargers. If you continue to wait and you like the Buccaneers and you want more points, wait, because by Friday, Saturday, even game time, you heard it here first, it's going to be over 5 points. The other game I want to go ahead and give up, because I know we're not talking about it, is anybody who's playing Clemson. When that line comes out, it's going to be between 10 and 11 points. Make sure you buy Texas and lay that wood, because it is going to skyrocket. Those are the 2 games you want to bet.
What do you think? And we may be covering this game. We're looking at it right now with the Amped Up Sports, of course, being associated with the Amped Up Sports, and of course, Leo Haggerty. Alabama versus Michigan at the ReliaQuest.
Best ReliaQuest Bowl ever.
We're gonna definitely try to cover that here on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television on New Year's Eve. Hopefully, I can get off of work. Policy Scout out there. Of course, Dave, you know all about that. If we can, I think we can, and we get credentialed, we definitely got you covered there on that Tuesday morning of the ReliaQuest Bowl with, once again, the Crimson Tide versus.
I was right. This line already went to 11 points. I'm not kidding you, ladies and gentlemen. You need to get on this app and make sure you take advantage of this, because this 11 points, I just had to look. Texas is only -11. It opened up at 10. This is going to go all the way up to 14. They are going to absolutely destroy Clemson.
All right, Dave, go ahead and finish up here, my friend. Give me some more thoughts.
I think like the Greek said, I think the more consistent running game of the Bucks.
That's it.
Should overcome, I guess, any type of defensive stronghold the Chargers have. If Herbert is questionable or not 100%, that's going to have an impact as well. So I think the Bucks, go ahead and steal the game. They win by a touchdown in LA.
All right. Good.
Someone keeps calling in, buddy.
Well, you know who it is. You know who's calling in, Dave. Great job. Appreciate the call, as always, my friend. Let's go out to this guy. We asked for him. We get him. Mr. Williams from Tampa. Your thoughts?
Harry.
My boy, what's happening, man?
What are you doing, little brother? You all right, Mr. Williams?
Yes, sir.
So are you ready? Are you a little more comfortable? You liking your Buccaneers now?
Yeah, hey man, I love they work, brother. I love they work. Yeah, man. I love my 1-2 punch I got going on back there. Some games I got a 1-2-3 punch.
Mm-hmm.
But though, hey, Mr. Smith, I take my hat off to him. Welcome back. You heard me?
Yeah, Tyke Smith. Yes, it is Mr. Chicken Wings himself. And I gotta tell you, Mr. Williams, Mr. Williams.
Yes, sir, Mr. Williams.
Come up to Ferg's in St. Pete, downtown St. Pete.
Yeah, Pete and Ray got you. No problem, man.
We got you, man. Harry's got you too.
Hey, man. Harry, man. You should have came Sunday, man.
Here comes the money.
He's got it right there. Harry's got the money, so he'll get you those chicken wings that he owes
you. Harry, man, you should have came and gave me my wing on Victory Sunday, man.
He should.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Bradford, Scott himself. Scott Bradford was so kind. He offered me a couple of tickets. I just wasn't able to go. I really wished I could have. I think it would have been really cool hanging out with all the crew people.
You knew I was around Raymond James. Stop that. You knew I was around there.
You were around there? Well, why didn't you come to the tailgate? Because we do What the Buck tailgate there on home games. How come you didn't come out?
Because I was trying to call you to see where you was.
I'm at What the Buck tailgate right in front of the stadium there, right across the street from the stadium.
But though your phone was not acting right.
Listen, nothing was acting right that day.
Yeah.
Thank you very much once again to Spectrum and their crappy internet, especially out on remote with hotspots. I got to figure that situation out. Thank God for Ray Kennedy coming out with his hotspot. We got to get a company out there that can get us some Wi-Fi to help us out.
Yes, Mr. Williams. Yes, Mr. Williams.
Harry, man, my last 2 games, man, here in Tampa, man, come out of hiding, man, before Christmas.
Wow.
Because we need to go across the street by Raymond James right there and bring the wings with you.
Bring the wings with you. There you go. Bring
Mr. Williams, I'll go have wings with you at the place next door.
Because, bro, listen.
They got plenty of wings. I like the breast, too. It's pretty good.
Yeah, man. But you and I, we need to meet, man. You, Harry, I want to meet you.
I'll tell you what. Listen, Mr. Williams, whenever you want to make some time, I'll meet you at the dog track over there in Tampa if you'd like. I'll buy you a couple of rounds. I'll get you a whole bunch of wings. We'll handicap some races together, and we'll just make an afternoon of it.
We need to have a fan appreciation day where we bring all the web heads out there. And I met Michael Sheets yesterday. Good to meet you, my friend. We met a lot.
I'll tell you what. Let's do that. Let's send this offer out. I want to go ahead. And you can start RSVPing. I will get with the powers that be over at TBT, which is Tampa Bay Track, which is the dog track in Tampa. And we'll go ahead and get a reservation and take out a complete section there. And we'll just watch some football games. We'll have a blast out there. And who knows? Some really pretty ladies might come out and say hello to everybody.
Well, there you go. That's always a good
I ain't
thing.
worried about them. I want to see Harry.
Well,
I understand you want to see Harry, but
and I'll look at
Harry will be there, Mr. Williams. I promise you. The Greek will be there.
We'll be there too. I'll be there also, Mr. Williams.
Peter, Peter, you my guy, man. You my guy. But Harry, you my brother, man. I really like your style, but man, I feel sorry for the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, it's been a down year for the Chicago Bears. Yes.
Hey, but I still got my Bucks.
Yes, you do. There you go.
Yeah,
I do.
yeah,
Yes, you
yeah.
heard that. I know my
Yeah,
Chicago
man,
peeps want to throw me in the Bay, but I don't care.
That's okay.
Yeah,
That's all right.
yeah, but Peter,
I'm used to this. Just wait till next year.
Yeah, may God be with y'all too. But Peter, my
I gotta get some of the shit he's spoken, bro.
I'm telling you, man.
I love Mr. Williams.
My edge rusher, yeah, we do have a little problem over there with that.
Mm-hmm.
That we do, but Yaya, man, we need him to turn it up a notch.
He's got to start. He's got to start winning matchups there. It hasn't happened with Yaya. I love Yaya. I love his potential. He's shown flashes of it, but we don't see enough of it consistently, and that's the biggest concern.
Well, there's reasons for it too, Peter, and I'll go over that with you a little bit later on.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And my guy, damn, I forgot his name. 94.
Kalijah Cansey. Yes, Kalijah Cansey. Yes.
Yeah, man. I like that guy, man, because he got a true engine, man. That guy come in, man, and he got an engine.
Definitely got an engine, my friend.
Engine, man, and I really like the way he's helping V to move that pile.
He is absolutely, Mr. Williams.
Yeah, man. And I take my hat off to 54, man. They might as well get his gold jacket ready.
Well,
man.
let's talk about him. In the 13th season, he'll be 35 in a couple days. He had a sack, quarterback hit, and fumble recovery against Las Vegas. The fumble recovery was the 19th of his career. Most, guys, listen to this. Most among players since he entered the NFL in 2012. He has 37 and a half career sacks, including 4 this season. And yet people will sit there and say he's not one of the top defensive players in this time, not one of the top linebackers. He absolutely is. He has been playing for losing teams. He should have more publicity. And if he were playing for a more winning team like the Bucks, not like the Bucks, but like another team, he would be getting that publicity, and now he is because the Bucks are winning. But he should have been getting it all along because he's been Mr. Consistency.
But though, when you get a congratulations from number 55 himself, bro, that means something.
It does. It absolutely means something, and he's right up there with 55.
Because Derek was one of the best. That if not the best, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you go Derek Brooks 1A and Levante David 1B. How about that?
Yeah, man, for sure.
That's some pretty big shoes, man.
Like I say, when he get done, they need.
I don't know if he's. Hold up, man. I don't know if Levante David is yellow jacket ready. He's not Derek Brooks. He might be. You could put his banner up in Tampa, put him up in Tampa Stadium, but I don't know if I'm ready to anoint this man to be Hall of Famer. Linebackers are a little different, man. You're talking about the greatest of all time.
I mean, again, I want to go back to this. Okay, the fumble recovery was the 19th of his career, so he calls his fumbles, he calls his turnovers. Most among players since he entered the NFL in 2012. He has 37 career sacks, including 4 this season. Still getting it done at a high level. Mr. Consistency, the only thing that people could say, and you look at the linebackers in his generation, you compare his statistics, they are Hall of Fame worthy. Absolutely. I will bet you that he makes Hall of Fame. Maybe not first ballot, but eventually.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get a mention. You know who I wish was on this show right now to really articulate that definition?
Who's that?
What I'm talking about is TJ Reeves. I really wish TJ was there because I'd love to hear him call in. I'd like to hear his opinion on it. And I know he's going to be slightly biased. I mean, let's be real on why. But I think he might side with me on this one a little bit. I'm not saying he was not a great player, but man, Hall of Fame, that's
I got
steep,
something
man.
to tell you. I think the media
man,
icon
bro.
well, listen, I think
the
guys, I know this for a fact. I know the media icon out there, Mr. TJ Reeves of the Buccaneer Radio Network, would absolutely agree that Levante David, beyond a shadow
I think he needs to say this.
Okay.
All right. Because
Mr. Williams, I'm going to try to work on getting the media icon TJ Reeves on here. We'll see if we can work on getting him on here right now.
I so enough hope so, because I want to hear his comments on this, because right now at Levante's age and the rate he's playing, tell me any linebacker that's playing like him right now.
All right.
I could count 25, 30 games that
Mr.
Derek
Williams
Brooks took games over. I don't remember Levante David doing that. Hey, Mr. Williams, we'll talk soon. But seriously, Pete, regarding that, honestly, I mean, Derek Brooks was a game changer. And I mean, it was a consistent game changer. Levante David was a great player, but man, no disrespect to Levante, but not even close to a Derek Brooks. Derek Brooks is one of the best all-time linebackers to ever clean up, man. Ever.
All right.
And you're talking about someone that came from linebacker heaven.
I agree. No, at Florida State. Absolutely. All right. I just texted him. We'll see if we can get an answer from Mr. TJ Reeves, the media icon, right now. Okay. Let's go back out to these comments because I don't want to neglect them. Of course, the phone lines are open as always. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. 9-1. Let's go out to Sitton, a Facebook star sender. Of course, Facebook stars out there. Go Bucks all day long. Go Bucks. Yes.
Someone just made a comment to my comment. His stats line up with Urlacher and Lewis, 100% to be in the Hall. Great comment. I do appreciate it. But he didn't take over games like a Ray Lewis and a Brian Urlacher and single-handedly win games like Urlacher did with 22 solo tackles, 2 interceptions against one Arizona Cardinals. And I can give you multiple games that he did that. And man, that's blasphemy. Now you're putting him in the same category as a Ray Lewis, arguably the best linebacker since 2000. Bro, I'm going to tell you right now, in my opinion, you got Butkus and Singletary, and they're still behind Lawrence Taylor and Ray Lewis.
Okay. All right. How about those Chiefs? Corey says Bucky needs to be the main ball runner, not White. But Corey, the problem is that Bucky right now is injured. He's got back trouble, hip trouble. So you got to go with what you got at this point. And you want to have him if you do make the postseason in the next couple of games. I get it. Every game is a playoff game, but you want him available. You don't want him beat up. No player is 100%, but you don't want him injured. They need to play more zone. Eric says Bucky should be a number running back 1B. Right now, he's not 1B because he's hurt, guys. That's the reason why they're not playing him. Bucky, bad leg, knee is already out because you want him to be the main man. Laugh my ass off. Mike COC, appreciate you. Yeah. As always, coming in there. Ben says a win is a win. Let's go. Let's go out to Christopher Cole here. Just get healthy. Go with White and Tucker. Ben, Victory Monday. Victory Monday.
Victory!
All right, let's go out to Ben listening from Hanford, California. LFG Bucks win. As the great Gene Deckerhoff would say, fire those cannons. We shall. All the way from California. You got California, Virginia, North Carolina, all across the United States. The evolution is evolving. I love it. From Bucks Nation. True. Gotta mix it up, says Taylor. Thanks a lot for the comment. Appreciate you. Yeah. Let's go out to Dave here. Kancey needs to stop with the late hits on the quarterback. He got away with one this past Sunday. I love the guy's attitude motor, but he's got to play smarter. I don't think it was a late hit. I thought it was a push.
It was late.
All right. Well, here you might know this. I haven't watched all Detroit games, but to me, what helps Detroit out on their defense with all those injuries because they play man-to-man like 70, almost 80% of the game. Do you see that way too? Do you see that way?
It's over 80% that they're playing man up on their wide receivers because they're sending the kitchen sink after the quarterback. That's why Detroit gets in so many of those high-scoring games. That's the only way they generate pressure. They can't. They're not even disguising it. They're just bringing everybody.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Still waiting on TJ Reeves here. We'll see if we can get an answer from the media icon. Three-headed monster. Use it. Run the friggin' ball.
Oh, yeah.
They have been. They're running just fine.
Trevor Miller says, run the damn ball. We'll be fine.
Woo!
Taylor says, our passing game is 7 yards and in, screens, outs to running backs, etc. Mike one-on-one. I mean, the deep threat isn't there. Jalen McMillan performed well yesterday. It was good to see him play. You look at his numbers overall, 4 catches for 59 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's starting to show a lot of the promise of why the Bucs and Jason Light drafted him in the first place. But once again, he's a rookie. You don't have that deep threat. Is that a concern also? Because we're talking about concerns with this team being 7-6, first place in the NFC South, not to have that deep threat. You thought it would be Trey Palmer. Do you feel like this team will have a deep threat eventually?
Yeah, give it a couple more games. They're going to be fine. Again, run the football, and you don't need all those deep threats because they're going to be open. Mike Evans is very rarely ever going to be one-on-one. Their other wide receiver might be one-on-one, but Mike Evans is always going to have safety help over the top.
Yeah,
you may see a corner up on top of him or shadowing him, but trust me, there is a safety or a linebacker. Sometimes it's triple teamed on Mike Evans.
Agree. All right, Buccaneers news right now. No news, so we'll update that situation. Ben says hopefully Baker can get all that out now, start to buckle down and win the division. Absolutely, Ben. Good comment as always. Let's go out to Dave. We beat the Lions and the Eagles. Absolutely, you did. Again, I want people to remember that you beat the Washington Commanders, you beat the Lions, and you beat the Eagles. Now, again, it may be earlier on in the season. A lot of people say, well, it's a different football team. You still beat them. It's in the win column. So enough with, and you could have beaten the Falcons with 2 games there. You had a chance to beat them. And you also took the Chiefs down to the wire there. Bulls had us competitive in 90% of the games with major holes on D. That's a good comment by Taylor Gaines.
Oh, yeah.
And he doesn't get that credit. And a lot of people have been, critical of Todd Bowles, and I've questioned some of the decision-making with the clock management. But at the end of the day, with all the injuries defensively, especially defensively, this team has been competitive. Besides the Bronco game where they got absolutely their doors blown off, and I think that was a wake-up call, they have been in almost every game, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And he deserves credit for that. And people will not give him credit for that. Let me go out to Gary here. This offense has to be more consistent. 2 quarters of doing nothing. Agree with that. Dave, again, Levante is still bringing it. Sitting. What's up, Peter Blake? What's going on with you?
Yeah.
Let's go out to David. Yes, we beat Detroit, but we had our players on defense. We had Godwin still. And right now we have a revolving door at safety. I want to correct you, David. You did not have Winfield Jr. in that game. And also you did not have Vita Vea playing in that game because he went out, I believe, in that third quarter. Sitting. Defense has got to tighten up. Mike D. Roche from Canada. Hey, guys, what's going on with you?
Woo!
Hold on. Stop right there. Go
yes.
back to Mike D. Roche.
Yes.
Everybody give him good thoughts. Long-time follower. Very, very long-time follower of the show.
Yes.
Is now doing well. Mike, we love you, brother.
We appreciate you, man, as always.
Oh, yeah.
I got to get you like an "Oh Canada" sound effect for just you because you've been one of the original web heads. And listen, we haven't always seen eye to eye, but my friend, I appreciate you coming on here and your contributions to the show because as I always say here, the Tampa Bay sports fan, you are the lifeblood of what we do here on The Evolution. Who is playing safety? It's going to be Etienne, it's going to be Tyke Smith, and it's going to be Kayvon Merriweather. They're going to definitely play. Screw the Bears, says Tom Banner. Checked off another win, 4 more to go. Mike says Chargers game will be a test. Mr. Williams, good job, Tampa Bay. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Christopher Cole, Eagles players are upset even though they won. Laugh out loud. Mike D. Roche from Canada. Harry Hawks beat the Rangers. You want to talk some hockey?
You know what? And people don't know this, but that's Mike DeRoche's favorite hockey team are the Chicago Blackhawks.
There you go. He's from Canada, and he's actually a Chicago Blackhawks fan. So how does that work out?
Hey? You know what? He lives really close to Regina.
Oh, there you go. That's
with
always
an R.
Yes, absolutely. If you beat LA Chargers, deserve to make the playoffs. Absolutely agree. And I think they can beat the Chargers. And I said before the season, this team would be 11-win team. So we'll see how it works out. Harry, it's not Chicago Bears. Stop crying. Andy, again, Baker's been great, but he has been guilty of holding on to the ball too long and does miss a lot of open wide receivers. You agree with that? That's a good comment because he does hold the ball on a little bit too long, and he does miss wide receivers either because he can't see them right away because pressure is in his face, or he refuses to see them with that case of throwing that interception in the red zone. I think that's a fair comment.
He's trying. Listen, a lot of times he's holding on to the ball because the receivers are having a hard time getting separation.
Very good comment.
We only focus on him holding the football. Should he throw it out of bounds? Dump it off to the running back, yes, but he is looking for that play downfield. Look, man, Mike Evans isn't getting any younger, and he's not getting separation like he used to, unless he's running a go route, okay? Chris Godwin, you don't have on the field, you don't have the deep threat there right now. So, I mean, the receivers are going to have a little hard time getting separation.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key. And Chris Godwin injury is so major for this team because if you had him right now, this offense would be, again, that much more explosive.
Yep.
There's only 2 games that I think we had trouble as of now. Dallas, their secondary is now healthy, and Carolina, they're starting to put things together. Mr. Williams, he played better than the Chicago Bears. Mike DeRoche, Baker is a
That's what I'm talking about right there, Pete. If I say anything that's just like remotely negative, they always got to go to the Bears. Who gives a shit? Okay? I could tell you this. At least the Bears have a quarterback that's going to be their franchise for the next 10 to 15 years if they don't get him killed. Okay, let's just
they don't get him killed, and if they've hired the right coach and they put the pieces around.
You know what, Peter? They should have. They
should have fired.
Eberflus should have been gone.
Should have fired him before the season. They're doing the same thing over and over again. I feel like I'm watching Bill Murray's.
It's rinse, repeat. It's rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. No, they'll get it figured out next year. Buddy, I got all the confidence in the world. You got Mike Vrabel going to Chicago. Oh,
well, wow. Do you like that move, or would you like a John Gruden? Would you like somebody else, a Ben Johnson? Would you like a Liam Cohen?
I don't want Ben Johnson. It's going to be between Liam Cohen and, believe it or not, Mike Vrabel. And there's another name that surfaced. And Lord, please don't let this happen. He's 180 years old.
Who is it?
Pete Carroll is now starting the service.
Pete Carroll still has the energy, though.
I don't care about the energy. He always has the most predictable offenses that there are. You're third, and it don't make a difference. He's sending someone deep.
Okay.
Every play.
It's a fair assessment.
I broke some tape. Some tape. I said, "Watch this, Pete. Watch this third down. Here, watch this, Pete. Watch this third down." It's every third down. There's someone running right downfield. If that even looks like it's open, Russell Wilson was tossing the ball. Remember?
Yes. Really quick, we'll get back to the coaching carousel because there's some interesting news coming out about Bill Belichick and UNC. What did you think of that with him going to the college ranks? Does Bill Belichick to you?
I thought it was a joke.
It's a young man. To me, it's a young man's game. I'm sorry. I like Dabo Swinney. Congratulations to him. But if you continue not to go into the transfer portal, if you continue not to do the, give enough money for the NIL agreement, you're not going to work out. That's why Nick Saban retired. Can you see?
That's not a fair comment to make about Mr. Swinney. Okay, that's not a fair comment.
Well, he's done this year.
That team has been the best team. Okay, for how many years?
But I don't know how long it can last if you continue.
I get it, man. I get it, but that's why I think comment.
Bill Belichick, to me, going to college football doesn't seem like it makes sense. He doesn't seem like a college football coach.
But after the first 6 or 7 games, Bill Belichick will be ripping what little hair he has left in his scalp.
Yeah.
And they will be protesting outside the stadium because the guy has lost his ever-loving mind.
Yes.
And be grabbing players. It'll look like Mike Ditka 2.0. The world's not ready in college for someone like him, especially in today's society with the way people talk to people. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Can you imagine Belichick?
No.
Yeah, we're just not really good right now. They just suck.
Yeah, but Baker's a gunslinger, risk taker, warrior mentality. I like that comment a lot.
Woo!
Christopher Cole, Bucks played cover 1 a lot, played pretty good. Christopher Cole, good comment. Field goals are just as important as touchdowns. Absolutely. Asked the Lions last year in the NFC Championship game. Baker Mayfield is fun to watch. That he is, Rena.
Oh,
Thanks a
yeah.
lot for watching Evolution. Hey, guys, what's going on?
Acknowledge me.
Let's go out to Dave. The Chargers losing J.K. Dobbins has made them a different team. I really don't come down hard on Baker for a place like this because Stafford last night missed Cup and other receivers open in the end zone and threw it across the middle into tight coverage. But I'll tell you what, Puka, woo, wow. How did general managers miss on him? I will never know. And then Josh Allen, if he's not the MVP of the league, there needs to be an investigation because the numbers that he's put up in that game and a loss all season long without Stephon Diggs has made them better.
They're let me tell you something. They're Nintendo numbers. It really are.
Yeah, scary.
It's scary.
And I would predict it. I thought Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills would be a better team without Diggs because when you get rid of a cancerous player, and the last couple of years, Diggs has been that locker room, and you start to spread the ball around and you start to give Allen the opportunity when he's got the ball in his hands to make things happen. And he is an exceptional quarterback when it comes to making throws, reading defenses, and also giving defenses fits because of that mobility. That's what you got.
He's doing something now that he hasn't been doing in the past couple of years, even with less talent around him, not turning the ball over like he was.
Boom. Right there. And it's always about that. It's always about the turnover situation. If Allen doesn't turn over the ball, Baker doesn't turn over the ball, if Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, we've seen it with the best quarterbacks. If you turn over the ball and you lose the turnover battle, more times than not, you're going to lose the game. And Jared Goff throwing 5 interceptions, Detroit able to overcome that versus the Texans. I guarantee you they won't be able to do that in the postseason game. They won't be able to. No way. There's no way you can do it. Chargers wide receivers are not good. McConkey is the best they have out of Georgia.
Curious, is that Phil McConkey's son?
I believe it is, Lad McConkey.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I absolutely know who you're talking about.
The old New York Giants wide receiver.
Yes.
Played back in the mid to late 80s with Phil Simms.
Correct.
I've always wondered. It's either his son or his grandson.
I believe it is. Let's go ahead and check. Can you go ahead and check that on your computer? Because I believe it is. Worst vs. Mac Part 2. Mac won that battle, I believe. Let's look up here, Lad McConkey, really quick, because I want to make sure that he is the son. Is he the son?
Either a son or it's going to be the grandson.
Well, let's see.
He's no spring chicken, man. He when he came out of the league, I mean, he's got to be older than me.
Right. Let's see here. It's not saying right now, so I have to look even more. So I'll say I thought that he would be. Let's see. His father, Benji McConkey, was a star quarterback in high school at Dalton High. His brother, Hinton. So no, there is no relationship.
They're not a relationship.
There is no relationship. No. So we'll go ahead and scratch that. That is not. But he is that type of receiver in the slot, like Phil would make those tough catches. Is not overly athletic, but has the quickness, not necessarily the speed, if that's fair. Let's see here. More comments. Christopher Cole, works for Smack 2. We talked about that. Great call, Dave. Absolutely, as always. Raina says, Mr. Chicken Wings. Yes.
Wangs.
Yes, Wangs. As the great Sean the Sports Don, the first co-host of this show, would say, Wangs. I'm going to go with some Wangs. And then you're overcooking the grits. Spida. Yours true. Biggest, sorry I'm late. Got home late. That's okay. We got to get you on the show. Content creator here has some great Buck songs. We're going to play his videos. Peter, get Starlink. Yeah, everybody's told me that. Corey says, does Mike get 1,000 receiving yards this year? That, according, and this also is another story, according to Greg Allman right now, Mike Evans, 590 receiving yards, needs 410 to reach 1,000, which means he would have to average 102 receiving yards for the next 4 games. Yes or no, Harry? Put the bet out there. Does he get that 1,000 yards to tie Jerry Rice?
How many yards has he got to average a game now?
102 yards.
I'm going to say yes.
Okay. And what's the cat say there? What's the cat's name?
The cat. This one's Sheba. This is the newest edition. And you know what? She's 1 year old today.
Oh, look at that. Look at
the Sheba. Look at the Sheba.
Oh, nice kitty.
We used to show Bandit's ass all the time, but now we're going to show the good girl.
There you go. Good girl.
She's
right
a lovely
there.
girl. Yes, she is.
All right. Good stuff there. Let's see. So I think he can get it. I think he definitely can get it. What's better than decorating the tree while listening to Peter Blake and our very own wise man, the Greek himself? I love that. I love that. I love that. All right, there you go. Thank you very much. Blackie right there. A punter kicker situation isn't helping either, netting 32 yards per punt this last game. I think you could punt. That's been the biggest problem with this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team. It's not kicker with Chase McLaughlin. It's punting. It has not worked out. Jake Browning, I guess his name is. He wasn't good yesterday. Hell of a Hall of Fame resume for Levante, says Biga. Outside linebacker coach is part of the reason Yaya has regressed. Wow. It's going to be hard to average 106 yards per game at this point. I thought it was 102. That's according to Greg Allman. Mike DeRoche, Levante David is Derek Brooks light. David says Levante has better stats than Luke Kuechly when he played. David is a Hall of Famer, and that's what a lot of people say. Luke Kuechly is a Hall of Fame linebacker. If Kuechly is a Hall of Famer, Levante David is a Hall of Famer. His stat line is up there with Urlacher and Lewis. We talked about that.
Not even close.
Okay.
I'm sorry, man. I love Levante David, man.
Yes.
That's blasphemy. You can't even put that in the same conversation as Ray Lewis, let alone Brian Urlacher. I'm sorry. And believe me, please don't be upset because I'm laughing at you. Look, man, I handicap football games just for the pleasure of giving my picks to people so they can go ahead and make some money.
Sure.
I'm sorry if my candor is not the best in the world and you just can't appreciate it. And I don't mean to laugh at it, but let's be real. They're not Brian Urlacher, and he's definitely not arguably the best linebacker next to Lawrence Taylor ever to suit up and one Ray Lewis.
Okay. I definitely think he has the numbers and he makes plays. And he's right up there with Derek Brooks and
game changers, baby. Any position.
He's a game changer.
Any position.
He's a game changer.
Any position than linebacker, I would agree with. That's almost like saying that Mike Evans is going into the Hall of Fame. And I agree he is. But we got to stop putting him in the same verbiage as a Jerry Rice, because what Jerry Rice did to opposing teams, Peter, complete game changers. I mean, took the team on his back. It was a totally different era. You would even have to agree with that, okay?
I agree.
Jerry Rice was just a beast. And I hope that Mike Evans breaks his record, because you know why? That would definitely assure him going into the Hall of Fame. But does that mean he's better because his numbers are the same? Do you understand where I'm going to with this? Just absolutely. Because his numbers are he had one extra season with 1,000 yards receiving. Does that make him better than a Jerry Rice? Hell no. It doesn't stop him from being a great receiver, nor does it stop him from going into the Hall of Fame. I know I'm going to get the hate mail. I get it, but I'm not a person that's going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm just giving you the reality.
I get it. No, I absolutely get it, my friend. Appreciate the time. As always, any final thoughts here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television? Yes.
Yeah, the final thoughts that I have, and you don't have to go to a single screen, Pete. Put it together. Trust me. Make sure you wait to bet this Buccaneer game. Wait, because you're going to end up getting almost 5 points. If you're really feeling adventurous, take them on the money line, because I honestly think that they beat the Chargers outright. But if you have a chance, get some money in your Hard Rock account right now. For people that are outside the state of Florida, make sure you bet it with FanDuel. Get a hold of me. Bet every quarter that you have right now on Texas, because that line is going to increase. Texas is going to beat the brakes off of Clemson. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Yeah, Pete, what you have for me?
I got this for Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers had his best day. Threw for a season best 339 yards, got his team a go-ahead field goal with less than a minute left, and the Jets D allowed the Dolphins to drive down and tie the game in the final seconds of Jason Sanders' field goal. Of course,
couldn't have happened to a better quarterback.
Now listen to this. As Jets fans, because of the misery, you could be a Jets fan at this point, just in the season. The loss eliminates the Jets from playoffs, extending their streak without a playoff berth to 14 seasons. That's the longest drought in the NFL. Your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers and the misery that is the New York Jets as a franchise?
Well, my buddy up there in northern New Jersey, I'm going to leave him nameless. The kid was 4 years old the last time the Jets were in the playoffs, and I got a feel for him. I just do. I really really feel for him, especially for all the Jerseyans and all the people in New York that root for the Jets. 14 years. And then you allow Aaron Rodgers to ruin your franchise, a great defense, a really, really good head coach, and then you let him buffalo you to bring Devontae Adams to your organization. You got exactly what you deserve.
Well said. I agree with you on that 100%. Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire. We'll see you soon here on Wednesday night on The Evolution, all right?
Peter, thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for all the good comments. I'm sorry I'm not the quintessential fanboy. And Banner, Nick, everybody out there, thanks for tuning in. Mike DeRoche, I want to tell you, I hope you get well soon, brother. We're praying for you. And today would have been my father's 92nd birthday. I wouldn't be remiss not to say that. But I have one with a birthday with the kitty, but my father would have been 92 today. Peter, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Go Bucks this week. And we got something to root for at least.
We definitely got something to root for. Happy birthday to your father in heaven. And you are definitely a direct reflection. You're a direct reflection of him. I know he was a good man, just like you're a good man. And
father, awesome.
And it's always great to have you on this show, my friend, as a co-host and as a friend. And we'll see you on Sunday. We'll see you on Wednesday before that, but Sunday, absolutely come out to Fergs, guys. All right.
Much love, brother. You take care of yourself.
All right, there you go. The Greek right there. Let's come back out here to the one shot. There we go, right there. Look at that. That looks nice. Look at that studio all set up with Alstott in the background there. Super Bowl 37 with Leroy Selman in the back there. You got Tropicana, even with the water damage. You got the Bucks flag. We got some other things to put on there, but open phone lines if you want to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a victory Monday, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's see here. So we'll continue to read some of these comments. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. If Luke K gets in, then LVD will get in. I agree with you on that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Dave here. If Patrick Willis is in the Hall of Fame, David is a shoe-in. Absolutely.
Woo!
Not Davis. David. Blackie says Ray Kennedy is here now. The party can start. Is Ray here? Is he in the building? If he is, call in or video in, my friend. Don't get me wrong, Derek Brooks is one of the best of all time, but there's an argument for David because David only played 4 years with a good defense around him. Outside of that, it's been really only David Brooks for most of the career had Hall of Famers around him. That's a fair assessment. Daniel says, I hope he answered. Dave says, Bucky doesn't need to return kicks. Agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Can we cut that off before it starts again? Scotland. Andy, thank you very much for tuning in from friggin' Scotland. Scotland, the UK. We've had Costa Rica. We've had California. We've had North Carolina. We've had all across Virginia. This thing is building up. 7,600 and growing. Continue to like and follow the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Facebook stars are out there. YouTube super chats, especially if you love the content. Levante is the active leader in solo tackles, 7th all time.
Oh, yeah.
Good statistics. Big again. Levante is the active leader. Okay, we got that. Dave says we don't have a deep threat because Godwin isn't in the slot, and without him, the focus is on Evans. Our other wide receivers don't scare defenses, so no deep passes. You're exactly correct about that. That's the reason why when you lose Godwin for the extended period, and look, there may be some chance here that he comes back later on in the playoffs. We'll definitely see. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. We beat Detroit without Luke Gedeke. Absolutely. Mike, thank you for the kind words. Peter and Harry absolutely deserve it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Dave. Harry, hands off of Cohen. Biga says second to only Wagner with combined tackles active, third behind Calais Campbell and Von Miller in tackles for loss active. In all three of those categories, he is top 10 all time. He is Levante David, a Hall of Famer, period. I need to get my guy on here, the sage of Tampa Bay, Mr. Ira Kaufman, to talk about this. Biga says he has the signature plays that won games of the years. It's just that he plays for the Buccaneers, who always get overlooked by national media. Absolutely. Cowboys and Bengals in a fight right now. Biga again. Evans needs at least one monster game to have a chance. Stats don't lie. Andy says, I never said 54 is better than Urlacher or Lewis. I just told you stats-wise he's up there. Not all players in the same position are the same. Look at Rondé in the corner position, not the same as Sanders. And people will say, well, he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame because he wasn't a shutdown corner. Well, he played in a zone defense, and he also had more sacks than Sanders, and he was a better tackler than Sanders. And he's the only guy that has 40 interceptions and 20 sacks. He absolutely deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. But people get locked in to this idea of systems and how they're going to help, and it's not fair. Look at the player's resume. No matter what type of defense, look at the numbers. Does it compare to the greats in the generation? If it does, then your answer is yes, he is a Hall of Famer. Great stuff there by Andy.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go out to Andy again. Still Hall of Famers. Dave, agree 100% with Harry on the Jets. Andy again, happy heavenly birthday, Harry's father. Absolutely. Biga, the Greek lep before you got to my LVD stats. Hopefully he listened. I know he did. Happy B-Day, Daddy Blake. Absolutely. My dad's in heaven. He's definitely looking down. Most likely he is shaking his head sometimes with some of the things that I say, but that's okay. We love him. Rich from Clearwater, always a thought, especially during the holiday season. Come on, man. You got a little bit of Buccaneer Bruce on your wall there. I do have a little Buccaneer Bruce on the wall. We will definitely work on that, David. You guys are just suggestions out there. Could put a lightning bolt on there for the Lightning, maybe USF. We'll work on it. We'll make it happen here on the Evolution. So did the Bucs promise Cohen the head coaching job after Bowles to keep him in Tampa Bay because we can't afford to lose him? I agree. You can't afford to lose Cohen at the end of the day. We'll see how it works out, how deep the Bucs go and where the Bucs are going to go. And maybe they do promise him that situation where he is the coach in waiting, because we've heard throughout the last couple of years that Bowles could retire. So that's definitely a possibility. Dave, we got Dave Anglin, Dave Moser here. Sorry, but I'm not going to sound like a greedy ass, but I think it might hurt us to play Godwin in the playoffs if he's healthy, because if he balls out, his value might go back up where he might not be able to re-sign him. Definitely understand that, but I don't think his value is going to be what it was with the year that he was having, if that makes sense. So yes, he may be very productive and he may be able to play in the playoffs, but I don't think the value, and I always trust Jason Light and this organization to make the right moves. And when it comes to the salary cap, to sign the players that they feel like are going to be the building blocks of this organization. They've done it over and over again, and I expect nothing less, David. But good comment, as always.
Ooh, yeah.
Biga says LVD would have more All-Pro and Pro Bowls on other teams and more popular markets. Absolutely.
Woo!
Correct. Hi, I'm Greek, and Peter skipped my comments. No, I didn't skip your comment at all. There it is. I read that comment. I read that comment before. I didn't skip your comment. Godwin is going to be signed again. I trust Jason. Let's go out to Instagram. You got to love this because it's a family affair. Sandra Nagel, my mother, says, watching the best sports talk show in the Tampa Bay area, the Sports Web with Harry. I like what you said. I like when Harry's saying about the Detroit Lions. I called them this year the Super Bowl. Everybody watching out there on Instagram Live. So here is your playoff picture, and then we will wrap it up for the night here, as I appreciate you tuning in on a Victory Monday, unless we get more phone calls, because the phone lines are open. 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Sorry, went to go get pizza, couldn't find it. What kind of pizza did you get? What toppings are on it? That's what we want to know here on the Evolution. Right now, the Lions are 12-1. Of course, the number one seed. You have the Philadelphia Eagles at 11-2 with the struggles. Even against Carolina at home, they still pull out the victory. Number 3 seed, the surprising Seattle Seahawks 30-18 over Arizona on the road. They have won some great games in the critical moments of some of these games. So they're hot right now. They're the 3rd seed. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now 7-6 are the 4th seed. The Minnesota Vikings at 11-2 because they're playing in the NFC North, which is one of the toughest divisions in all of football. Of course, the Green Bay Packers at 9-4 at 6. And then the 7th, Washington Commanders and the rookie quarterback, the rookie phenom, if you will, and Jaden Daniels at 8-5. Still in the mix at this point, of course, the Rams, the Cardinals, the 49ers still have some hope, and the Falcons all sit at 6-7. Let's see here. Pan Pizza, Pizza Hut, pepperoni. It was free because I had points for it. Good for you, man. It's always free. If it's free, it's for me. So again, great stuff tonight. Thanks a lot to Harry the Greek. Thanks a lot to all the callers. We had to come on here on a Monday night. I missed you guys talking to you at the stadium. We'll be back on Wednesday night with, of course, the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions. Former NFL quarterback Seneca Wallace is back in the air chair. He wants to talk quarterbacks. We'll talk quarterbacks. And as always, all the guests, Ryan Neal with some college football matchups and turnbuckle talk, the return of it with Ralph Williams and who else, who knows. But guys, like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Give to Facebook stars if you love the content. Give to YouTube Super Chats and do 3 things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the Sports Web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. As always, go Bucks and happy Victory Monday.